Okay, hello everyone. I hope you had a really nice summer. Happy September. I'm back finally. It was very tough for me like this summer. I had a lot of stuff going on since the planets went retrograde. Since Venus was in Leo, I got a little bit unconscious there. It was very interesting. So we've got a load of planets retrograde, and I was thinking to show up and just give you some energy update. I did spend a lot of time to looking on astrology because last year in eclipse, when there was the eclipse season, we were moving, and the last night in the old house, we managed to burn the chimney, and we had a fire brigade over. And there was a lot of power struggle in that time in my relationship. So I was like, this year I have to be prepared. So I did like a lot of studying on astrology and digging deep and understanding what we are going through at the moment. So this energy update is gonna be a little bit reflecting on this so that you get prepared. I as well created some calendars which are having all of these digest what we are actually working through, because Mercury is retrograde, Venus is retrograde, Jupiter went retrograde today, and there is probably, even in the Western astrology, they are looking as well on Uranus and Neptune and all the other planets. They are at retrograde too, so it's like about 6 or 7 planets retrograde. It's just crazy. So it's gonna be messy and it's gonna be very interesting. I am going through shit as well. I don't think that I have everything figured out. I don't. It's all about the relationships and the distractions of the external. What you think that makes you weak, because there is as well now Venus is in Cancer, retrograding in Cancer, and Cancer is a little bit of like it's emotional and it's psychological, and it's as well loves connections, and you will be having this pull to like the old stories and old romances or the new romances, like just the comforts of the bed, so and sex, and food, everything, like all these indulgences and all of these desires, like when you open the candy shop, like the earth plane is like that. I mean, the third dimension is all about these pleasures, but there is a lot of distortions in it. So before we even move to the harmonic universe too, I mean, to being anchored, like to become a 4D human first, from to unplug yourself from 3D. You cannot just plug yourself to 5D, like they say, but the 5D is non-physical. So where we going? We are going to harmonic universe 4, but that requires either get rid of all the chakras, I guess, or just work them out so they actually act as a portal or as your stargate, so you can leave this body and coming back. And that's totally possible for us as humans to actually being like that. The body's design, the human design, is all about to becoming the intergalactic, to becoming a part of the other species. So what we're doing in here now, we have to get rid of the fear, and we are working through all the limitations. And of course, the biggest lessons we've got them in the relationships. So now when the planets are retrograde, it is always coming up in one way or another with whoever. Let's say for me, I was grieving because my dog died, and then I got so on the bottom of the pit, the grief it's a process as well. And then on top of that, there were other things happening with the template, like with the upgrades, and then the restructuring of the reality itself. There is a lot of energetics, like what we are dealing with at the moment. So we adopted a dog. I got so unconscious, and we adopted a dog that I did not absolutely realized how big this is. So what we're doing actually right now at this moment, we are looking on the consequences of our actions that we did when Venus was retrograde. which it's still retrogrades going, I think, forward, but it is gonna stay in Cancer for quite some time. And I think it's 11th house, if I remember well. Yeah, it's in 10th house. Purpose. It's gonna be all about a purpose, but as well about the connections you have. And like, you know, even like I'm looking as well like how this new adoption actually is bringing me away from how intense it is. Like, you know, I was exhausted like this only when my daughter was born, and Venus was retrograde in Cancer when my daughter was born in 2015. So I am having exactly the same experience with the dog, because she's like this new baby kind of like in the house. I'm being very clumsy, and I'm getting hurt all the time because she's big long dog jumping everywhere. She might jump on the table and knock this down like very easily. So I had to adjust like crazy. I didn't have a time for absolutely anything. I was only like maintaining everything and sleeping. And then I started looking at astrology actually, because I was like, wait a minute, there is something I don't get. And then everything like unfolded for me. So sometimes universe is gonna give you, or universe, your higher self actually, or your greater being is gonna set a little trap for you so that you can address things what you are avoiding. Let's say like my biggest fears was getting pregnant again, and like having another, getting hooked up in the relationship which I am trying to get out from. And funny enough, this happened with the dog, and it's the same. It doesn't matter if it's a human or a dog, you know. And I got again entangled, but like it's not the same like it was in 2015, because now we did a lot of work on ourselves. Like now you know yourself better, and you know that like you are the way, that you can manifest anything you want. God, you are, you know, like you suddenly are approaching all of these challenges absolutely different. You are intentional, you're setting intention, making it easier for yourself. You know how to bend the structure. You know, this time it's different. I mean, at least for me, you know, it's not gonna be like that for everyone. Probably people are repeating the cycles and they are not aware of it. That's why I'm doing the updates, that you get aware of it. Because having awareness during the day about anything takes ginormous amount of the energy. I understand that not everybody has a time to, you know, people still have a normal regular jobs, but we are moving out of the 3D structure. We are really moving into the 4D, let's call it 4D. You know, we are moving into the harmonic universe 2 practically, where we have to be working with our multi-dimensional gifts. So what the planets are gonna be showing us at the moment is that where we have the weaknesses and where we've got like where we didn't grow, because the consequences of our actions are very powerful. And there was a lot of political stuff like happening in that time. And with the eclipses, oh yeah, there is Rahu Ketu is gonna be moving as well, which is very profound as well shift. And then we've got eclipses. So this year is unbelievable, and I highly suggest everyone to, you can go to my Instagram. The latest updates are all there, most of them, what I write about the planets and how is it like messing it up. And I put the calendars out for you so you can print it out, and then you remind yourself what is going on energetically, so you can a little bit like reschedule your day. Don't panicking in these areas, because it's gonna be bumpy. Like the rest of the year is going to be bumpy. The message I got, that we are in this cloud line where we're still collecting the data and like sifting it through to understanding our journey better, like our individual ascension. So it's gonna be in the house of the purpose, career, success, fame. Easy money are in on the reputation, father figure. So you might have like a parts of the body. So let's say the right part, that's the male. The left part is the female side. So everything what has to do with the father figure and everything what has to do with the mother figure. I was working on some like forgiveness. I did some forgiveness meditations and like on compassion, and it would be handy to working probably on these topics, like, you know, we have to release the mother father genes and all the distortions which we took on, like just to have this human experience. So we are looking on the consequences of our actions that are coming back to just look at. All the blockages are gonna come up, like, you know, I mean, it is coming up. There is no way that we can bypass it. It's just staring into our face all the time, and it's getting more and more intense. I can see it. How intensified it got, let's say, these couple of days with extra Jupiter joining the party today. But you already feel it, like you feel it, especially if you're a meditator. All of the planetary stuff you feel at least 10 days before it even starts or it reaches the peak. You already start feeling it. And with the eclipses is the same. 10 days before the eclipse, 10 days before that, you will be already feeling it. We're already feeling it now, practically. So there will be this like nostalgia, past relationships, romances, and the negative qualities of Saturn, because Saturn is retrograde and it's in the opposition of Venus, and Sun is standing there too. Sun is in Leo. The negative, let's say, aspects what are coming as well to surface with the Saturn, because Saturn is all about time. So that's why the past is coming back, and it's gonna be more past coming back, like 2005. It started showing up for me. I moved from Czech Republic to Ireland in 2005. It was ginormous shift what I did in that time, practically. So we will be looking on that one too. So the negative qualities of a Saturn, let's say, for example, is immaturity, don't want to grow, don't want to see the truth, victimhood is gonna be big, you know. So you might find yourself like pitying yourself, like, why me? Why I'm having these experiences? I don't want to have those experiences. So you have to take ownership of like having it and not beating yourself up. That's the thing, this is the biggest piece, like especially now, because the way the planets are standing, it is always gonna be affecting some areas of your life. And most of them are gonna be home, work, career, you know, for some. For me, it's Dharma, you know, my purpose. And that's gonna be messed up as well when Ketu and Rahu moves, for me at least. I will have it really difficult, I guess. Well, because both of the planets are in Pisces and Virgo, and I have it in Virgo and Pisces. So it's like, it's for me, it's gonna be big. Physically, how is it manifesting at the moment? What we're doing, even what the messages I'm getting like from the other side. Internal heat, all the chakras are very active, at least for me, because I see them. So some people, you know, don't work the chakras, so I don't know how they are doing it or what they are experiencing, but the symptoms are like that. Like, you know, it is the belly area, hips, that's relationships, sacral chakra practically. There is a biggest trauma, legs, feet. Feet is hate. I went through a ginormous like rage and hate and anger, especially this summer. So that's gone. That's the legs. You know, the lowest frequencies are usually in the legs. So sleepless nights, cramps, internal heat, or a blurred vision. My memory is absolutely messed up. And the sense of time is like really wacky. Like, you know, I actually missed the 1st September. I don't know how that happened to me. So yeah, you know, the time is a little bit funny. Dream state is gonna be very vivid. At least I am having a very vivid dreams. I was actually twice out of the body. That was very interesting past 5 days. And in both of the times I ended up in the space station. The second time I was just observing some astronauts doing something in a space. Yeah, there is something definitely going on. They do something in the space for sure. I don't know if it's a moon facility. I didn't stay there long enough to be able to get some messages, or not messages, but get some more information on what's happening there. But so far what I know, that the moon bases are very active, like a lot of people talk about it, I guess. But yeah, I think most of the starseeds are having probably out of the body experiences now, going like to the ships and like connecting more to those aspects. But I don't know, like if you have those experiences, I would really like to hear that. Like, just comment down below. I would like to hear that, whatever is showing up for you. I think it's more than ever now until probably October next year. I would say all next year is very important that you lay down some foundation and get yourself out of 3D. Like, also business wise, like, what you're doing for work, like your work, your career, like being as independent as possible, like of the 3D structure, because that system doesn't work and it's not gonna continue. It's not gonna be able to exist. It has to die and crumble, because the Earth is moving. She's having higher frequency. The timelines are splitting, and that's gonna as well. We're gonna see that as well with the people. They are gonna be living your experience. It's gonna be impossible for you to even coexist in the same reality. At the moment, we are still working through some lack, victimhood, abandonment, still the woundedness. It's still there, but mainly the fear of other side, the fear of the other beings, the fear of extraterrestrials. There is gonna be a lot of fear mongering, and I highly recommend everyone to never buy into the fear, because there is nothing to be afraid of. You have to be as powerful in you that you know that there is no way that somebody can control you. Because if you have any type of fears, then that fear is a control. That means you are being controlled by the fear. So we're gonna be still working through this. That's why, let's say, I could go to the other side the way I am kind of going, and it's not like that I am leaving the body, like that the people are talking about, like the OBEs. It's not the same for me. I do not going to those places they are going. I'm always in the spacecraft. I'm always ending up somewhere in the space station on a different planet, so I'm probably accessing the multidimensional spaces. You can download a lot of information about even your own blueprint from the Hall of Records. That would be very individual. I don't know if you can get access, but I mean, everybody has the capacity and the ability to do that. You don't need anyone to doing it for you. You have a right to do that. But does it require certain vibratory rate in the body? Yes. Let's say when I go out of the body, it's like biolocation. It's definitely not remote viewing, it's not dream state. It's clear as a day, and it's as real as this reality. That really it is for me when I think I bilocate, because I know that I sort of like, I see the particles. There is a lot of, like, of course I have a complete paralysis. I don't feel my body at all. And then I hear a lot of buzzing and music, and there's like a snap and there's whoosh, and I usually see some sort of portal, or it's more like a Stargate, because it's very blue. It's blue and white most of the time, and I go through it. It's like a blip, and I am somewhere else. I'm watching the spacecrafts through the window. That was very interesting. That the last one I had, I tried to do this controlled so that I can meet the other beings as well. Like, that is the fear I have to overcome at the moment, because the way I am seeing them, when I close my eyes, I see them as like a little bubbles. But I never met anyone on the other side. That's always empty. There is no other being. So I guess I still have some fear there, because I know that I have a fear from grace. After the abduction agenda, and after all the implants and all the bullshit what they put in my body, and I was dealing with it without even knowing that I'm having it. But a lot of things shifted since the time. If you have some implants, you have to always check it. I mean, that was done because of the genetics what we carry as humans. So the abduction agenda is here and it needs to be understood. And that's like a big fear thing. So the help is given on that thing. Don't think that the Galactics would let this like continue first. Second, anything that's get out of the sort of non-interference things, when they trying to do something really bad, like they will always interfere. Like they deeply care about us. So it is very important that you know that you have all the help you need on the other side. Whatever is happening, like with the body or whatever you need to get rid of, you have there the help. All the light beings, let's say Andromedans, you can contact Andromedans because those are specifically, I don't want to say designed, those are specifically taking care about us who had abduction stuff, who were abducted, even like when the DNA was crossed so really badly with reptilians, for example. And there are humans who have those experiences. The help was given. I mean, the help is there. You have to just know it's there. Like you can contact either Arcturians have technology, so it's better to start with Andromedans because they are the keepers of the new Earth as well, and they are. I would say that us who had all these like stuff done, we have a different world that was created for us that we could live on. So far, what I understand. I think each one of us have a different journey and different path. I know that like a lot of the people who are not awake, they don't do any work, they are in constant denial, and they are heavily vaxxed, they are going the cyborg line. I already saw that line. They just will be completely taken, their consciousness is practically expiring. Because I don't want to like put more fear in here, but to my understanding is that part of consciousness that is focused in this body, when it's taken by the AI, by the nano, which is in the V, that aspect, that thing is gonna die with the cyborg. So how the soul gonna retrieve that aspect, I'm not sure how it works. I think this is very complex stuff, and I don't think that we as humans can even like understand it. I think our brain doesn't have the capacity to really understand how the universe works. But I think each individual has to do its own digging, and you have the records in a hall of records. You can always access them. No one else can access them but you, and you don't need anyone to bring you there. All the beings have the access to the hall of records. Everybody in the universe. You can do that. Like, I mean, you can find out what's your blueprint. And I remember when I saw mine, it was so long that I was like, okay, I don't think I'm gonna be able to stay there energetically that long that I could actually read it all. But I'm more visual, so I'm getting it a little bit different way. I'm more telepathic and visual and automatic writing and things like that, and drawing and art. The art is important as well, like for me, like on my journey, because I get a lot of messages as well coming like through the doodling. Yeah, it kind of went off the path, like a little bit, the energy update. Okay, so at the moment we have to start to being real and truthful to ourselves, and we have to see everything like, to not to be distracted by the 3D, because the distractions are gonna be huge. More we have the access to the other side, or more we have access to the as well, more you are going to the harmonic universe too. That means more you are operating on the frequency of the heart, the mind and the heart, coherence, like the Joe Dispenza always say. The yogis doing the same. Yogis are more as well onto the body, like to leaving the body and things like that, and completely clearing the distortions from the energy field. What you can do as well, which is a great technique, I'm gonna give it to you, it's phenomenal. You can imagine the David star, for example, or you can use this picture, what I've got on the web. You can imagine it like above your head, and you can imagine it goes there. You can command it. You command it and you tell it where to go, because if you lie down, you imagine that your crown chakra is open and this star is above your head, and you imagine that it goes inside of you completely and clears all the distortions. You can fry up any type of thought form that is still lingering in your energy field. So when you ask yourself, when you are lying down, you have pain somewhere in the body, you have to be brave enough, of course, to probably not always, but you don't have to always know what it is, what type of thought form it is, what type of, if it's abandonment, if it's a victimhood, if it's blame, if it's shame. You don't always have to know what it is. You don't. You can fry it out without even knowing what it is. But sometimes it depends on your greater being. Sometimes you need to face it, because otherwise you cannot move forward. Because if you don't know, then you just kind of pick up that thought form again and bring it over into your energy field. It's gonna be still a pull, but not always. You have to experiment by yourself as well, with your multidimensionality. So you have to start to being real as well, about this. And I just, even in the public, I know that because it's Leo, the sun is in Leo, and Leo is all about truth. I am Leo, Leo is all about the truth and not distracted by the desire. And it's truthful to your own light and to your own multidimensionality. So that's what we are doing at the moment with the Mercury retrograde as well. On the top of that, we have to get the story straight. And you have to create the environment for yourself to continue to knowing that you are powerful, and that there is no being in the entire universe that can stop you or take over or manipulate you or project on you, because they will start doing, people will be projecting on you. More empowered you are, you will be, if you're still having them in your life, if you still didn't cut those people, then they will be constantly trying to cross your boundary. Especially what I definitely notice is those who are on the cyborg line. They are heavily projecting on you if you are around them. Heavily, you're gonna be attacked like crazy. It's and that's the new sort of strategy that is being put in place 3 years after everybody got weed. The body is being taken over by the nano, and they can broadcast to them anything they want. And I can see how this flips. There is a situation which is crazy nasty. You have conflict with the person, and then 10 minutes after, the person acts like nothing happened. Memory is being wiped up heavily. I definitely feel that my memories are just they are somewhere there, so I can sort of recollect, but something is happening, the restructuring the brain, and as well something is being the heat is burning the old structure, probably. I'm still sitting with this one, so yeah, because the storm is approaching. That's what I got yesterday. The storm approaches. Images of broken light and eyes. So I leave you with this one, guys. I'm happy to be back. I miss doing these energy updates because, it is training my intuition, but it's it kind of grew up into some more like a telepathy and visions and bilocation. And it was very interesting. I hope I'm gonna try to get out from the body more often, because I know you feel very sluggish afterwards when you get back. So the body has to be in the shape. Otherwise I cannot bring the information in. I cannot stay there long enough. So I'm kind of working on that. So I can get like, I don't know, like some being talking to me. Yeah, I think we are at the moment getting the story straight and like really looking on like, okay, why we are here, what we're doing here, and just like a bravely really just being multidimensional without like, you know, shame or hiding. And you know how they say getting out of your spiritual closet, that's one thing. The second part is when you're getting out with your IT closet. that's even more like crazy and challenging. Well, we're gonna be seeing the fake ones first, the fake ITs first, you know, the government, and then the contact for the entire Earth plane is planned according to the Bashar, and as well according to the information I got like 3.5 years ago. Is 2026, 2027, more or less. That timeline is almost crystallized. And I guess we are the ones who are gonna be probably contacted first, because we already have less fear. Because, you know, like if the people are not gonna be contacted if there is a fear around it. So though it's gonna be in a very different manner than what you think that it's gonna be like for the entire Earth plane. No, it's gonna be just certain individuals, and for the entire Earth plane, I would say it's just gonna be flying on the sky, but definitely not landing. No. Oh, and I saw some giants as well in one of the first out of the body, and then I heard someone talking about it, that she saw it too, that they are waking up. Some giants are waking up in Antarctica. I think there is some connection. Yeah, I don't have much information on that topic though. I don't go to Inner Earth and I don't go to Hall of Amenti. Really usually ending up in the space station. So I will probably get a different type of information in later. Okay guys, I leave you with this. It's nice to connect again. I hope I'm gonna be able to show up more often. I have to just a little bit reorganize myself, because my daughter is finally at school, so it's great. It's quiet. I love that. Okay, be good. I love you guys. Take it easy and do some shadow work. Don't do anything crazy, because Mercury is retrograde until I think almost the end of the month. We should be focusing on what is not working and on your identity. So focus on, at the moment, because there are so many planets retrograde, what is good is like journaling every day and writing down what type of people are showing up for you. You can always ask yourself, why is this in my experience? Why is this person in my experience? Let's say I was asking, okay, why I have these 3 people in my experience? What they have in common? And what came to my mind first was something what one of my friends said. She said that she doesn't know how to sort of sell herself. Like when you're doing, let's say you have your own business, you know, how to approach, how to sell yourself. And my second friend the day after said exactly the same thing. And I was like, wait a minute, so that's what they have in common. So why they are in my experience? Because I know how to sell myself. I mean, I ran multiple businesses before, which I always like scaled up for a couple of years, and then I failed, and then I had to rebuild myself again and again and again. But it's by design, because I have it even in the natal chart that my soul chooses that to have more experiences. And so I had so many different careers through my life. You know, I never stood in one place longer than 2 years when I was waitressing. So I had all kind of like a steak bar, cocktail bar, pizza place, Italy, Switzerland. I have a lot of experiences like on that field in a different type of like settings. And then the art, and illustration, anatomical illustration, graphic design, custom tattoo design. Then I was making bags, designer bags. Now printables, like there's so much like if I have a look back, I have a ginormous amount of experiences on that field. But what I don't know how to monetize my multidimensional gifts. So yeah, it's like you will be looking on a lot of things like in your reality which are gonna be coming through your connections, because Venus loves the connections. So it's gonna be as well about the work, about the easy money. Let's say now everybody is after the artificial intelligence doing the job for them is huge. You can make a business within a couple of days using the tools, the artificial intelligence tools. So you're gonna be as well looking on some alternative solutions to your problems in this time. So it's very good when you journal and you really a little bit examine what is showing up for you and what the story, what you keep telling yourself. We just uncover a little bit like with one of my friends. So I think she was dealing with not good enough. This is a very common thing, not good enough. It's like one of the very common trauma piece. And it's the bottom of the trauma in many cases, not good enough. But as well, what's there is like we were looking on everything what is conditional, like conditional love as well in the relationships. So because of the Venus was retrograde in Leo, and when she moved to Cancer, everything what was conditional was showing up. So you can double check. I put the calendar out. There is a lot of good things in it. I put that August and September, so you can check the August, what was happening for you in August, and you can note it down. Another great thing on that calendar is that there are these 3 things are for tracking your habits. So let's say you start doing some new meditation because it's gonna be equinox. And I highly recommend this year you pick up some good Kriya, because honestly, I don't know how the people can actually do it without it these days. I found it extremely difficult when we adopted a dog and I didn't have a time to do yoga and do any type of like the old meditations that I was doing. Very difficult and challenging to function actually without really working with the body and energizing it. The body needs to be energized and the nervous system needs to be supported. So the food, it's like this bullshit about like the veganism, like in the spiritual community, it has nothing to do with whatever they are telling you. It has all to do with the frequency, what the food is holding. So, no bullshit diet, just the diet for the body. and that's gonna be different for everyone. That's gonna be different for everyone. I'm not saying that my way is the way. My way is the way when you want to go interstellar. Or if you are a starseed and like that you exist on the spacecraft, that diet is for you. But can you do it in America? Probably not. Because I'm in Ireland, we still have the original seed. We still have, let's say, for the potatoes, for example, we still have organic, original potatoes in here. The very, very first ones before they fuck them up. We have a lot of organic stuff in here. I have a great organic vegetable source, but that's my manifestation because I expect it. I expect that this is gonna be here for me. To creating the reality. So I have a fresh, amazing beetroots here coming from the farm, and they are organic. In the Super Value, which is like a chain of the 3D chain, and I still find there what I need because I am constantly manifesting it, because I am expecting it to be there for me. But so can you do it in America? Maybe, but we are like moving more to the direction of the water, so I am transitioning a little bit more on the fruit at the moment, just because I feel the difference in the body. The body doesn't need a food, you know, it doesn't actually. You can live on the prana completely, but is it for everyone? No, everybody has a different journey, and you have to, of course, you have to know yourself. I think the biggest piece this year is gonna be, you have to know yourself. I got a lot of awareness like during this summer, and I know that next time when Venus go retrograde in Cancer in another probably 8 years, I will not do the same mistake what I did like this year. I'm not definitely gonna adopt the dog. I think this is my last dog. And she's very cute, very sweet. I call her we are like a walking love, because like when you walk with her, everybody's like, oh, she's so amazing. And everybody hug her, and she's like, oh yeah, I give you the cuddles. She's very sweet with everyone. She's lurchers especially are one of the most sweetest dogs, but she's very difficult as well. It's a lot of work for me. A lot of mess. Yeah, see what the Venus is doing like for us. Like, what do you do for the love? You know. Anyway, like I guys leave you with this one. It's very long, so you're gonna be looking on a lot of stuff. It's destabilizing in the relationships. So I put this out there for you, so you can download it and print it for yourself. It's a great calendar, you know, very simple. I'm working on the version that you can have it like digital. Like, you know, if you have an e-pad, you can open it in GoodNotes, and you can open it as a PDF in the GoodNotes anyway, and like start writing in it. But I want to create certain like a complex, little bit better printable like that you can get, because I used to make that for myself, and I was like, yeah, well, why I don't put it out there for everyone? I used to do it for myself, that I don't do mistakes. My fear of making mistakes in life. So I leave you with this in here. On the other hand, there is a lot of amazing things happening. I feel this that we finally are in a stage that all is good and the help is there, all is good. I don't feel anymore that crazy turmoil what I was feeling. It's something inside of me is just quiet, and I know that no matter what, there is no such a thing like that anyway, so you know, who cares how it looks like. It's gonna be messy, but you know, you're just saving your consciousness. You are just like saving your consciousness that you invested in some crazy stories on the earth plane that tells you that you are limited, even though you're an unlimited being. So work with the thought forms. You can fry them up. Just send that star, or you can imagine the David star going for you, and just like ask your body, okay, tell me where I have the block, and then listen to the body. The body is gonna, let's say you're gonna have this like a twitch in your shoulder, and you can go online then later. So first you send the star there to fry it up, and then you can go have a look what it means. Shoulder, let's say, carrying heavy load. You know, you can do the shadow work afterwards. You remove the thought forms as well. It's working with the thought forms this month will be very beneficial, because we have to sort of focusing on the ancestral healing as well, healing the past. So we have to see it, heal it. The healing is the natural process, you know, just where you're looking on it. There is nothing you need to be afraid of. The ultimate fear is the fear of death. The fear of death is the biggest fear everyone has, and because there is no death, so yeah, just pop out. The biggest problem is that, like, first what you experience on the other side, when you go on to the other side, first you are experiencing your thought forms and your whatever you have in your energy field. So all your dreams are having this type of flavor first. Okay, I see you next time, because